Folks, it's Cowboy Mike coming back at you again. We're working with my little 2-year-old colt here. So Remy, this is the little fella that you guys probably remember from Cornita Avery's Facebook page when he was 6 months from born and growing up. Well, he's 2 now, and we started putting in a little work. He's in first grade, and he's gone to class, but we've done so much homework in the past year on the ground when I couldn't ride the horse, to where by the time I got into the saddle, he knew a lot of the cues. He knew he understood what they meant. The word back up and the right pull, left pull of the bit. And I say pull. I use the word pull loosely. I always tell you guys in these videos, don't never pull on your horse, and I mean more like snatch. Don't ever really snatch on the horse. So what it is with this guy right now is that he is at a point now. When he went to school, when he first got in first grade, he was basically in the 2nd or 3rd grade. So what we have now, usually a lot of people, let me back up a little bit. A lot of people, when they're training their young colts, they get them broke to a saddle, throw it up there, little colt or filly might crow hop a little bit. The first experience is probably a bad experience for them. You're scaring them. Remember, they're cowards by nature, prey animals. But we took our time and went slow with the colt. And like I tell you guys all the time, take your time, especially when they're young. Take your time. It'll mean the world to you when they're 5 and they listen well and they ride well and they move good. They get off the pressure. They yield to the pressure, and then they get away from the pressure of your legs or whatever cues that you give these colts. So right now, this little baby, as opposed to having, problems backing him up. A lot of people, once they get up there, because they didn't do the groundwork, they have problems backing them up, and now they're trying to back them up laying into the horse's mouth, which they don't like you to lay into them too much. Remember, they're always looking for their reward. Their reward is taking the pressure away, whatever pressure that may be. Even if it's a certain stance, that you have around your horse. Once you walk away or back off of them, they exhale, they can breathe, you understand? So right now, as far as backing, we're gonna back this little colt up and show you how well he's backing, and you can judge for yourself. Back, and this is just a couple of fingers, folks. Back, he's got his old head down, backs really well, whoa, and he listens, so we've done that so many times, and he's heard back and whoa, oh my God, so many times in the past year, to where he understands what the word means. Of course, he can't spell it, he couldn't write it, and he couldn't tell you the Latin root word of it, but he understands what it means, okay? He understands with back, there comes pressure on the bit. So, as far as lateral flexion on this little colt right here, he's real loose. I'm just barely touching that baby right there. Barely touching that baby. You can't do enough of this. Remember, I said in some early videos that the more you flex your horse, and people ask me all the time, Cowboy Mike, man, why you always flexing them horses like that, man? Listen, the more you flex your horse, you can't do enough of it, but the better you can back that horse, the better you can stop that horse, and again, the better you can turn that horse. So the horse listens to the signal that you give him, the cue from your hand to the bit. Again, when you get on your horse, your young horses, if you guys are out there training them, in the backyard or at the barn, stay within your box. Keep your hands light and stay within this box. Don't ride your horses way up here, because there's too much pressure on a young colt's mouth. Too much pressure on any horse's mouth. They don't like it. They're looking for their reward. If their reward, they dread you doing it. They know they get the reward, but they dread you doing it if you're up here, because they're like, oh man, so much pressure, and then they have to give so much to where it contorts their body, where they're not really using their body well, if you guys understand what I'm saying. So, which I'm sure you do. You guys that have ridden horses, you understand exactly what I mean. And it's all about the language, the horse language. They understand what pressure means. It's in the wild, it's in domestication, it's all around them. It is the fabric that holds one of the major fabrics that holds their very society together. Again, I want to talk about something else, maybe switch the subject up a little bit and talk about pitch. Now, I know a lot of us don't use that word a lot, but pitch is what a horse can hear, right? You guys notice that when your horses are around the barnyard, around the barn, in the pasture, on a trail ride, they're very aware of everything around them. Horses can hear what we can't hear, okay? They can hear a very high pitch. okay? And they're very sensitive to low pitches, okay? A low pitch would be 0.1. That's like your heartbeat. They can hear it. Believe it or not, they can actually, if they're standing next to you, they can hear your heartbeat, okay? Another thing too is vibration, okay? If I shake that bit just a little bit, the coat can feel it across the bit, and that shake that rein, he can feel it in that bit across his mouth. He can feel that vibration, okay? So if there's something happening, a mile down the road, if it's a rumble going on, they can feel it through their hooves. Horses are just that sensitive. Do your homework, grab a couple of books, and read up on this kind of stuff. There's one good book I'm going to suggest to you guys to get, so you can better understand what the animal is, the nature of the beast, which is some things that I've learned years before the book was written. I forgot the author's name, forgive me, maybe we'll talk about it a little bit later on, but it's called Think Like a Horse, and most of you guys have heard about that book. Go get the book, folks. Go get the book, okay? So, at any rate, that's where we're at with him. We got him lunging, we got a good forward motion, we got him backing really good, and now it's just a matter of, once we get our work done in here, we get outside, and he's been on the trail, he's been all around this 100 acres we got out here over this side, back in these woods. There's 600 acres across the road. I started taking him over there last week with some really nice hills and stuff. And of course, when he first saw it, horses that have bad depth perception, it takes their eyes, the retina in their eyes, time to adjust to see what they're getting into, and then they go on with it and everything. But this little fella, he's going everywhere. He's doing everything. He's doing really, really good. So at any rate, I think he's wanting to tell you guys bye. So say bye, Remy. Back up a little bit. Tell them bye. Take the pressure off of them. There you go. Until the next time, folks. Cowboy Mike. Be safe.